Hello, I'm Deneen Matsuda, and this is a place where we're trying to help our students fall in love with math. I hope you had a good week. I did. Friday was rough. The projector in my room, which is up in the ceiling, started giving me trouble. The volume quit working. Now, we teachers are accustomed to plans not going well. We are skilled at plan B, C, D, E, and F. But things are different now because we have students either solely on remote learning or, like me and my colleagues who have students in person and online, those alternative activities that we would whip out with our students in person often don't translate to remote learning. So it's difficult. Suddenly, we could hear Kevin's voice coming from our projector throughout the whole classroom. We couldn't figure out why, but that's the only sound we could get. Our two people who help us with our technical issues were both off campus on Friday, and my own little team of students who helped me, they couldn't figure out the problem, but I needed a plan B. So I did what I'm sure many of you would have done in my situation. I said, Kevin, tell us a story. I needed time. He said, are you serious? I said, I'm very serious. Tell us a story. So he stood up in his bedroom and he told us a lovely story about his cats. His story ended with thunderous applause and the words that every storyteller longs to hear. Tell us another one. I think we have a new feature in my classroom called Storytime with Kevin. These are the little things that keep us going. And if you have a little story to share, I would love for you to do so in the comments section because I know I would love to hear your story. In a previous video, I taught the game Factor Tea Party to you, and you can find that video on my channel by looking for the photo of my family at an actual tea party at the Empress Hotel on Victoria Island. Teachers are busy people. I'm always cognizant of that, and so I try to keep my videos as brief as possible. But when I finished the Factor Tea Party game, my husband Stanley, who is a wonderfully incredible man, said, you were too fast. You didn't explain it well enough. You didn't explain where they're going to get the numbers. They're not going to know what to do. To which I replied, no, I think it's okay. It'll be fine. Later that week, my good friend Sarah, who's in Virginia, texted me and said, I saw a Factor Tea Party. I really want to try it with my 5th graders. And I think I know where you got the numbers, but can you just tell me, just so I can be sure? At which point I knew that Stanley was right. I wish I were right more frequently. So today I'm here to hopefully clean up some of the questions that you may have had. I got my numbers from the numbers that were just listed in our book. I took these numbers plus other numbers that I know are fun to work with. 6, 7, 9, 12, 15, 20, 24, 36, 21 is a fun one too. And I wrote them on pieces of printer paper. Then I took other pieces of printer paper and wrote out the factors. I didn't even laminate the papers. Now, I didn't do repeat numbers. For example, 10 gets to be a factor of 20 and also a factor of 30, but I only wrote 2 pieces of paper that had 10 on them. 10 being the number that would get to go up to the front, and then the 10 that would get to be a factor of 10. Here I use nice cardstock at home, but here we're going to work with 6. So you can either put 6 on the front of your room on a bulletin board or whiteboard, or if you want more student engagement, you can give 6 to a student and have them sit on a stool. That's what I did. And that student calls out, tea party, and then 1 gets to come, 6, Say I only wrote the 6 on 2 cards. That's it. 2 gets to come, and 3 gets to come. And of course, they're all socially distanced at their tea party. Now, when you use prime numbers, only 2 people will get to come to the party. The student who is holding 7, and then the 2 guests, 1 and 7. So to make that fun, we all call out prime time. I taught this in conjunction with the rules of divisibility. When students see 45, they all know that 9 and 5 are going to get to come, and 1 and 45. But there's that very interesting rule of divisibility for 3, which teaches us that if you add the digits together, 5 plus 4 is 9, and if 9 is divisible by 3, then 3 is going to be a factor of 45. So it's very fun for them to realize, and for me to teach them in this game, that 3 and 15 will even get to come to this party. Now, my husband is a very academic brain. But what makes him so interesting, one of the things that makes him so fascinating, is that he's a highly creative brain as well. And he was none too impressed with my plain pieces of paper. And so he created teapots for all the numbers to be factored, and then, you guessed it, teacups for the factors. You can either put a teapot on your whiteboard, or for more student engagement, give this to a student to call out tea party, and then all the factors will come up holding, the students will come up holding their little teacup factors, socially distanced, of course. He must have really needed a break that day from his intensive computer work, because he not only made them for the numbers that I had used in my game, but all the way to 100. And then he made me an answer key that lists all the factors, so I don't have to think about the factors for each number. And he put the primes in pink, and in blue he put the factors that will be repeated. When I saw this, I said, Stanley, you need to put this on Teachers Pay Teachers. If you haven't found Teachers Pay Teachers yet, we left the link in the box below so that you can go there. It's a wonderful website, teacherspayteachers.com, where teachers have created thousands upon thousands of resources and lessons for other teachers at nominal costs. He made an answer, not only an answer sheet, but a full direction sheet. And this is what the product looks like if you should happen to go and look. I had to have him add the word math factor tea party to it though. So that's the official name on TPT, because every time I searched on Teachers Pay Teachers to find it, I couldn't find it because it was over with all the resources having to do with the Boston Tea Party. Whether you use homemade cards like I did, or Stanley's very fancy teapots, I hope you'll give this game a try with your students this week. He tried to make it so that you would be able to input a little code and get a discount when you went to that site, but he couldn't figure out how to do it, but he really did try to do that. This game can even be played remotely. You can copy off the factors for your students and pass them out on a pickup day, or you can just have your students make different factors on pieces of paper, and they'll hold them up. When you hold up a number to be factored, they can hold up numbers that would be factors of that number. When I do math workshops and services, teachers often ask me, how do you fit all these things into your day? The word essential has a much richer meaning for us all now, I think. And I find hands-on activities like these to be essential. When I look at a standard, I don't immediately go to the textbook. I first try to think what would be the most effective, deep, rich way to teach and then reinforce. And quite often, it's not using a workbook page, but a hands-on activity. And when I'm walking around listening to their conversations and language as they play, or when I'm playing with them and I hear the questions they ask each other, the questions that they ask me, I know that deep, rich, meaningful learning is taking place. And I try to remember that my textbook is simply another resource to be used in the way that I see fit. Our job is hard, but our job is important. And I'm sending you with courage this week and reminding you that you are a math person and you are enough. Goodbye.